You could have F-35s up ringing North Korea right now, shooting down any launch that they make with an air-to-air interceptor missile called the AMRAAM. What Trump needs to do this year, what I would love to see the president do, is say no more North Korea launches, period. We're going to make it a no missile area. We're going to shoot down every single rocket that you launch up in the air. We're going to shoot it down before it even gets into space. We have to use all of our complex ballistic missile interceptor stuff. We're going to shoot them down over Kim Jong-un's head. That would be a great 2018 for me, as if Trump could finally shut North Korea down and make it a no-fly zone, basically, for intercontinental ballistic missiles.
And can he do that by next week? Because, you know, the reports are that we may see another missile test. We don't even know what that's going to look like yet. We don't know the payload on that missile and other details.
So, Harris, here's what's easy about it. North Korea is only about 150 miles wide. I'm on the Strategic Forces Subcommittee, on the Armed Services Committee. You could have F-35s up ringing North Korea right now, shooting down any launch that they make with an air-to-air interceptor missile called the AMRAAM. That is doable right now, actually. So, yes.
Well, that's some great detail to have. The Strategic Forces Subcommittee, I would imagine, is also talking about Guam and those areas that are close in. Talk to me about where you apply pressure now from the president, because, you know, he's taken a lot of heat on that one tweet where he said that he had a bigger nuclear button than Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, that was probably a silly tweet. I think that detracts from what he's been doing here. The only thing that we can do more is get China to be on our side. We've been trying to do that for decades when it comes to North Korea. Yep, they're selling them oil. Sanctions don't work if the biggest nation in that area is unsanctioning North Korea while we're trying to sanction them. You have to keep applying military pressure. And lastly, make it a no-missile area. Say, if you're going to launch missiles, we're going to shoot them down over your head. You're not going to get any practice. It's not going to help you. It's not even going to help you when you fail, because we're not even going to let you fail. We're going to shoot them down over your head. That would be the right choice here, in my opinion. I don't think that that's an act of war, saying that we're not going to let you practice shooting. Nuclear missiles at the United States. We're going to shoot them down. We're not shooting you, but we are going to shoot them if they go up and they're anywhere near our allies or us.
You know, that's an interesting point to make, because when the president tweets, critics among Democrats especially say, hey, you're committing us to nuclear war. But what you're saying is he might want to tweet what you just said.
Right. And lastly, Harris, too, the funny thing with this is, if we don't shut down their nuclear program, we are going to a mutually assured destruction type foreign policy with them. Because that's the only thing you can do. If North Korea gets 50 intercontinental ballistic missiles, we can't shoot 50 down. That's why we have mutually assured destruction with a country like Russia, right? If they were to do a nuclear attack on us. The only way to stop them from becoming nuclear and getting into that situation is stopping them now. Period. There is no going forward after they have decoys on their missiles and they get scores of missiles. We're not able to take those down. So stop them now, stop them this year, and make it so that my kids don't have to listen to stories about a nuclear North Korea over the next decade.
The United States and South Korea have decided to delay joint military exercises until after the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics next month. South Korea's Blue House said the decision came during a phone call between U.S. President Donald Trump and President Moon Jae-in early on Thursday.
And this morning at the top office, the presidents of South Korea and the U.S. have agreed to delay the annual South Korea-U.S. joint military exercise in light of the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics that start next month. For more, we have our Blue House correspondent Hwang Ho-jun on the line for us. Ho-jun, this is big news and quite surprising. What can you tell us?
The agreement came during a phone conversation between President Moon Jae-in and his American counterpart Donald Trump late last night. According to a Blue House press release, the two leaders agreed to postpone the exercises to de-escalate tension on the Korean peninsula and to let the combined forces focus on ensuring the security of the Games. The idea was initially proposed by President Moon, which was revealed during an interview with U.S. broadcaster NBC News last month. Now, President Trump promised he will send a high-level delegation, including members of his own family, to Pyeongchang Olympics, and stressed that the U.S. will fully support President Moon in the process of resuming dialogue with North Korea. The phone call came just a day after Seoul and Pyongyang reopened their dialogue channel at the joint security area on the border, which is seen as a preface of the resumption of government-level talks between the two Koreas for the first time since December 2015. The regime largely remained silent on South Korea's proposal for dialogue until North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he's willing to send North Korean athletes to Pyeongchang next month and suggested holding inter-Korean talks to arrange the proposed trip in his New Year's message. Now, it's important to note that this is a tentative agreement, and there's still a long way to go to thaw the relationship between the two countries. Now, the White House also released a statement on the phone conversation between the two leaders, but it put its focus on President Moon and Trump agreeing to, quote, continue the campaign of maximum pressure against North Korea and not repeat mistakes of the past. Moreover, U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis soft-pedaled the delay of the joint exercises. He emphasized the postponement was simply due to logistical concerns and the exercises will resume after the Paralympics come to a close in March.
A White House statement said both leaders agreed to deconflict the Olympics and our military exercises so that the United States and the Republic of Korea forces can focus on ensuring the security of the Games. During Thursday's phone call, the White House said President Trump and President Moon agreed to continue the campaign of maximum pressure against North Korea and to not repeat mistakes of the past. State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert said Thursday the recent moves by North Korea to reopen communications with South Korea shows that the U.S.-led campaign of maximum pressure is working.
We have information and evidence that the pressure campaign is really putting the squeeze to the money that the DPRK gets and has been using for its illegal nuclear and ballistic missile programs. So we know that that is having an effect.
The annual joint military exercises, known as Full Eagle, are usually held between February and April and are one of the world's largest such drills. The exercises combined ground, air, naval, and special operations to increase readiness to defend South Korea and the region. North Korea routinely objects to the exercises. President Trump had tweeted that his firm and strong leadership was the impetus for a scheduled resumption of talks between North and South Korea. However, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said at the Pentagon Thursday that the exercises would resume after the conclusion of the March 9th to 18th Paralympics in Pyeongchang. He said the postponement was due to logistical concerns. Meanwhile, China said that it welcomed what it called the recent positive turn of events on the peninsula, as well as the positive moves taken by the DPRK and the Republic of Korea. Geng Shuang is the spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
中方一直认为，朝韩双方通过对话改善相互关系。
He said, "We always believe that to improve ties and promote reconciliation and cooperation through dialogue is in line with the fundamental interests of both North and South Korea and conducive to alleviating tension, advancing denuclearization, and promoting peace, stability, and security in the region." The spokesman added that China welcomed the concrete efforts by the North and South Korean governments recently and hopes the international community would support them and encouraged all parties concerned to do something helpful to alleviate tension and improve mutual trust. On Wednesday, North and South Korea reopened a cross-border hotline that had been shut down since 2016 after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un offered to send a team to the Winter Olympic Games next month. After the reopening, South Korea confirmed that officials from both countries had talked for 20 minutes. Seoul also responded to Kim's overture by proposing high-level talks next Tuesday to discuss matters of mutual interest, including the North's possible participation in the Winter Olympic Games beginning February 9th.